So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Matthew Bailey alongside my critique and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hello, hello, hello.
And this is another episode of BS Beats and Bailey. And at the time of this recording, it is Carnival Sunday. So, in a few hours, the whole country, will be, enjoying Carnival, the Bacchanalia and all that kind of stuff. While I'll probably be editing this episode of BS Beats and Bailey that you're listening to right now.
Yep.
Boy, sacrifices. That's how it goes. But anyway, we have quite some stuff. We have a good amount of stuff, I should say, to talk about today. So first things off, we have to talk about them trailers. But a whole bunch of trailers came
Yeah.
out last week.
Right.
Most of them really, well, not most of them, but some of them really sprung up from the Super Bowl weekend, which is something that I honestly don't really give two shits about. But I really care about them trailers, and some really interesting trailers came out. So we'll talk about those in a bit.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we will talk about a movie that was just that Netflix just literally brought out of nowhere. Actually, around the time of the Super Bowl weekend. Anyway, this is a follow up, or at least the latest addition to the Cloverfield film series,
Yeah.
and this is the Cloverfield Paradox. By boy, I have some stuff to say about that show, but all in due time. And finally, we will talk about our Oscar nominee, our Best Picture Oscar nominee, one that we've been excited to see. And both of us have been so grateful to see it on the big screen. I saw it yesterday at the time of this recording. You saw it a couple of hours ago, Ricardo. So
Yeah.
I hope that I hope that you give it some good thought though, because I'll tell you one time, this is one that you really have to think about a little bit, before you could jump into like your ultimate conclusion as to whether you think the story works or whether you love the movie or whatnot. This is Paul Thomas Anderson's Phantom Thread,
Right.
and I still under the belief that this may not be Daniel Day Lewis's final film performance. I'm not too sure, but
It's
if
the
it
Jay Z
is,
thing. It's the Jay Z thing.
yeah,
My attitude is that look, just make sure it's more Jay Z and less John.
yeah. I mean, but I would say if this is the last time we're gonna see him on screen, I'll say he went over the bang, man. Man, come through real good. But
Yeah.
all of that in due time, right? So first of all, first off, sorry, we'll start with them trailers, right? So
Yeah.
first one that I saw was for Mission Impossible,
Right.
Fallout.
Yeah.
Totally impressed by this. Although I would say this is like every bit what I
Well,
expect to
it's
see from a
movie that
Mission Impossible trailer.
the movie that destroyed Justice League, right?
Oh yes, because now we get to see Mr. Mr. Superman himself, Mr. Clark Kent, Mr. Henry
Yeah.
Cavill with the mustache, boy. See what the big deal
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you one time, boy, Ricardo, I like that fight scene, boy. That fight scene
Yeah,
between two of them.
it's like when you could
Jeez,
throw
man.
hands on wood.
Yeah, like smashing people. Like
Yeah.
I was scared. Like this is like the intro to Casino Royale all over again. But like, this is like this
Yeah.
grittiness. But like wow, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
seeing all the insane stunts and the helicopter stuff. Of course, that
Yeah.
one moment where I think is Tom Cruise's ankle. So this ankle sound like that got busted up because that one little jump. What's saying one little? What am I saying? That one jump from building to building is like, oh, word, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks great. But once again, though, because it's Mission Impossible, you kind of know what to expect. You expect this is going to affect MI6 and this is going to impact what you've been doing all your time. And I remember there's this one line where you say, how many times have they oh gosh, I forget any word. Basically, kind of wiped out
Right.
his existence. Basically, it's like, oh, we don't know who Ethan Hunt is. Basically, like how
Right.
many times has that happened?
Yeah, I'll say again, kind of a little tired of the whole him, defected from the government.
Yes, that
Bullshit.
thing there, yeah.
But that's Mission Impossible. It's like, if you don't think they'll disavow you, like that's the paradigm. But
Disavow,
I'll see
that's
how
the
they
word,
can
yeah,
carry the
disavow.
argument further.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. For me, it kind of reached to the point where it's like, they could have stopped at the fifth one. They could have stopped,
Well, okay.
but
So you're kind of right about that.
you know,
But because the villain didn't feel too climactic. It's like, all right, they had to wrap it up in a better way.
Yes.
But these wrap up, it turns out,
yeah. and it was kind of setting up like it was going to be the end of it. Although I like how they kind of flipped it on the audience, where they end it off like a TV show intro. So you see all the characters and you see the names, like, oh well, it could be a series when you think about it, or this is a new chapter in this series here, and this one here Fallout clearly is one. So I don't know. I just kind of wondering, like for me, just personally, because remember this is not James Bond, so it's not like you could change Ethan Hunt or get an next actor to play him. Unless you want to do the Jack Ryan approach, I don't know. But still, the question is, when is the series going to end? You know what I mean? How much insane stunts is Tom Cruise going to do and get hurt and all that kind of stuff before you say, I don't know, I just going to do Oscar-nominated stuff, you know, I don't know, with this action thing.
It'll be interesting to see how they're going to do with this one, because I was impressed with the villain in the last one. I really liked the villain.
Yeah. I like how it was like an anti-version of MI6 in a way.
Right.
Like,
no, but I liked him. He was a great villain. The whole crisis of conscience, he come up with a great plan. His mindset of how he think about the world, and then the whole perfect plan thing, and he didn't take into account Ethan's randomness. No?
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. Like, he pretty much had a perfect plan. It's just, he didn't expect Ethan to be a crazy motherfucker, right? And it worked. And then, I preferred it to 4. And I was like, all right, well, this franchise is so strong.
I still have a spot in my heart for 4 because of that, the Abu Dhabi scene. I mean, come on. Yeah.
For me, 4 was a big disappointment for me in general.
You find
but
so?
I find so. For me, I just didn't like the script, the villain. I didn't like the plot.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that, like how Tom Cruise was trying to outrun a sandstorm.
I didn't care for stuff like that. The spectacle looked great. That is not what I was complaining about. My problem is I find the plot soft. But I find the plot for 5 was great. I really liked the villain, what the villain was doing, what he was about, and so you can make it interesting, especially because it don't have to be as dumb as American. It's trying to be the American James Bond without being XXX retard nonsense.
Lord.
Or be post 9/11 America kick butt bullshit, right?
Right.
It really feels like the real American counterpoint to James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why this franchise could kind of go on indefinitely in that sense. It's just you had to make sure you have a good energetic actor, and since it's American, it had to have more action than James. Instead of the over the top sci-fi spectacle that Bond is getting into, you do something a little more grounded but still sci-fi, but it's feel more practical. Yeah. Right, that's why I have a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with 3 as well. 3 had some gimmicky stuff in it that I enjoyed.
Right.
For the most part. But yeah, this one looking good. It's just a really good trailer. Love how it's edited towards the music.
Of course, yeah, definitely.
A lot of fun with that. Yeah, Henry Cavill could throw hands, so that's hilarious.
Yeah, boy. Jeez. Alright, the next trailer that we got was for a movie that I knew little to nothing about except for the actor, Dwayne Johnson. Skyscraper, boy. And I'll say this, right? Seeing the trailer for myself, I was like, okay, this is not what I expected. I didn't expect, I was expecting some kind of Tower Inferno kind of thing. I didn't expect Die Hard, but it's a kind of multi, ultra modern skyscraper kind of thing. Like the premise was interesting. I'll give it that. The premise was pretty interesting, but then it kind of devolves to a terrorist taking over, and now Dwayne with a prosthetic leg has to make a jump from one point to the next, and it's like, okay, we have to stop at that moment because folks, you have to see it in I think it's in IMAX, I'm not too sure, but it does kind of play off as like standard action fare, but it looks interesting. As I'll say, the premise is interesting. It's not what I expected it to be, especially with the whole idea of the skyscraper, but the formula is there, so it's like, well, okay, we kind of know what's gonna happen, I guess.
I would like to see how they'll make this work. I mean, I expect it to be kind of trash and garbage. Some of the, like I admitted, some of Dwayne Johnson's movie, not outright flops in terms of in terms of money making, but critically they're not darlings. I mean, Baywatch sucked. The last one with the earthquake kind of sucked.
San Andreas. I haven't even watched that movie yet. I just didn't get it.
It just fell flat because that's the worst part about it now. So I don't hate this necessarily, but it looking like it's gonna fall flat too. Whatever.
Yeah. And I realized that Dwayne Johnson really trying to be the last action hero. You know what I mean? Like every year we're gonna get action flick from him. But Well, I don't know. I say he just go for it. Like he just want to be the new Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone from the 90s.
Yeah.
Just keep doing these disposable action flicks. But at that point in time, he just had to find like a nice little franchise outside of Fast and Furious, of course, and just ride with that, man. You know what I mean? Not just
that's the thing. He
fly-by-night movies.
He know enough to understand. You know, his agent, like get the right role, right balance for him. Where he already in the big franchises, he already in a comic book franchise. You can't go wrong with that. Well, in the case of DCU, you're not sure. I mean, you know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Fuck them up, whatever. And you know, he's the person again. He just had to keep his name in people's mouth. You know?
Yeah.
And that's just the simple logic. And that's why I can't really be mad at a project like this. It might fall flat. In fact, I really expect it to fall flat.
Yeah. No, I think it because of the poster with him jumping.
Yeah, that poster
is
terrible.
Yeah, it's silly, but it catchy. It's very blockbuster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Another trailer which came out. This was one that actually impressed me way more than the first one. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is a much better trailer. It reminds me a lot of Jurassic Park, The Lost World. Sorry, The Lost World Jurassic Park, which is a movie I still defend because I like the darker, more graphic, quote unquote, approach to it. Where it's like, oh, well, dinosaurs are out and they in suburbia and they could devour your dog and that kind of stuff. Now. So they are a bigger threat in the real world than they are on this island. And again, this kind of vibe there, but I'm not too sure if everything is going to be concentrated on the island itself. Why I say that, because I have this nice shot of like I think it's either a T-Rex or a Velociraptor targeted this little girl who was sleeping. I thought it was a great moment. It reminded me a lot of The Lost World. But this one, I like that they didn't rely on this gimmick of there's a volcano and dinosaurs are running and fleeing in fear and falling into the ocean. There's more stuff. I was expecting to see Bryce Dallas Howard running in high heels again, but we didn't get that.
Right.
But there's more stuff in it. But there's more stuff to keep you intrigued, but not to kind of sell out the whole story. Because still, at the moment, I still have no clue what's going on. It has some gimmicky stuff, especially with the T-Rex scenes and stuff, but it still looks entertaining. But in a Jurassic World kind of standard, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because when you think about it, Jurassic World being this whole nostalgia piece and trying to be different, but not too different.
I was dismissive of the last film. It made a ton of money, but I really, really hated that teaser trailer that came out. This is a much better trailer, agreed. But I still not feeling it. It's gonna be alright.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be Jurassic World again, just bigger and more T-Rex stuff. That's it really. But I'll check it out. Okay, so a couple more trailers that came out. Well, this one is a teaser, but I call it a trailer still. Solo, boy, a Star Wars story.
Right. Yeah.
It looked good. Looks very good. The actor are still a little iffy about. I can't really knock him down because it just depends on what he brings to the role and to the story and what the story is about. The premise is kind of interesting, but I heard this comment made before about the trailer is that why people not really feeling it is because they're kind of selling this thing that Han Solo was some kind of hero before, and he's not the kind of reckless rebel as he was before he met with Luke Skywalker and him. So like you're kind of marketing saying like, oh well, he's a hero now, and then years later, I don't know, he got jaded and then he become a hero again. So I don't know.
Right.
I'm not too sure of the approach of this, but I mean, visually it looks really good. I love the music that they use here. Woody Harrelson. I mean, WTF, he's there. Childish Gambino, boom, Donald Glover looking hard. I love that last shot with the tentacle creature, whatever it is. A good kind of callback to Empire Strikes Back. Of course, Chewie, but boy there. So I want to see how their relationship started off. I hope we get some really great entertaining moments with the early years of Chewie and Han Solo. But once again, though, that lead and what they do with him are still undefensible.
Right, I remember a lot of people was making noise about, well, they could have gotten this other guy who actually really did a pretty good job of playing a young Harrison Ford. And they should have casted that guy instead of this guy, and they had to do acting classes, and that's the whole talk.
All of that? Serious? Okay.
I'm going to go as far as saying that, they shouldn't have, like, more and more thinking about it. They should have probably go with a Lando movie instead. Like, the problem with Solo is that from a world building standpoint, there's only so much you could do with Han Solo. And I'm not really that impressed with Han Solo as a character. Like at this point, I don't care to see his story. Yeah, especially when we know what Disney's doing with the Star Wars movies. Yes. Like for the most part, I like the Star Wars movies, but like I don't really care for Solo as a world building character. It looking okay.
Yeah.
Another thing that kind of threw me out of it is that it looking like Rogue One in terms of its dark, kind of gritty look again. And
Yes.
like,
Yes.
yeah, but Rogue, it makes some sense for Rogue One, but it don't make no sense for a Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't things be more bright and upbeat? Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't hate this, but yeah, it really looking sketchy at this point, and I really kind of worried about it. This might be the first kind of big flop for the Disney Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. What is interesting though is the release date though. Like we getting this thing May 25th. I thought we
Right.
had like honestly, I didn't even hear anything about when it was released. When it was going to be released. But I thought with Disney's formula, we was getting the same for Christmas. So like,
Nah.
oh, we're coming on Memorial Day. Well, okay,
Nah.
all right, word okay. we
Yeah.
doing that, all right. And another person, well, another reviewer that I follow on YouTube actually kind of compared this to like Guardians of the Galaxy, especially with Woody Harrelson's character, you know, like him
Right.
creating his team or whatever. So I don't know, it's like the tone of it, I'm not too sure if it works because, you know, Han being this rebel and all that kind of
Right.
stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it
I-
works here. I'm not too sure. And even right down to like the title card and all, it's kind of still sketchy to me. It's just like,
Right.
okay.
As I said, you know, the movie had a real sketchy kind of production. You know, those boy Lord and Miller got kicked off. They bring in Ron Howard. I was like, okay, he's a decent enough replacement director. I still generally respect Ron Howard as director.
Me
Love
too,
Rush.
me too. Yeah,
Uh,
love Rush.
Yeah, so I'm still worried about it because again, it's so sketchy. But again, it could turn out like Ant-Man. That's the best hope I have from it.
Yeah,
You know, it's something that had a troubled production, but it could turn out well. So it's
right.
fine.
Oh yes, we didn't mention that Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer that came out week before though.
Okay.
Yeah, which okay, I was impressed by it. I like the fact that Marvel is going out of the way to actually give us a dynamic duo, if you will,
Right.
in one movie. It's cool. They kind of show off some shots like, you know, with the slow mo with the Wasp jumping on the knives and stuff like that, and I like
Yeah.
how they still playing on the whole, you know, shrinking,
Right.
you know, gigantor kind of thing. Like
The shrinking building
yeah.
didn't make any sense to me, but whatever.
No, but it still looks fun. It looks
still looks fun and
ridiculous.
silly, yeah.
Like the power of the car. Like I thought that was so dumb, but
And I like
it's
I
so
like that they
fun.
follow up on the consequences of Civil War. So
Oh yes, yes.
you know, Ant-Man, he got jailed. And then, well, they came after, they obviously will come after Wasp and, well, the father. No?
Yeah.
And that makes sense to me because it's like, yeah, he have a set of secret shit, and the mere fact he would be associated with a terrorist in some form or the other would have the government come after him. No?
Yes.
It worked. So I want to see what they do with the script and what they make it work. It looked like a ton of fun. It looking great. And yeah, I want to see what they'll do with this. It's actually a pretty exciting trailer. Yeah,
Right.
we didn't talk.
But on the subject of Marvel, just for a bit, we got the Super Bowl spot for Avengers: Infinity War. And what
Yeah.
we're seeing looks pretty good. I mean, we see a bit of Iron Man. We see some more stuff with Spider-Man. A nice little shot with him. And it's just this. It's just like just adding an extra layer to what we got with that still amazing first trailer that they dropped for us last year.
Yeah.
Not giving us too much, of course, but just enough to be like, okay, I like that. I like that last shot with Debo Thanos smiling. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, he's up to something, sneaky bastard. All right, I like that.
Yeah, I really like this trailer. Just how it edited the music. It really look, they really get a sense of epicness with it. It have a cool part with Spider-Man pulling off his mask for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doing that, but
I
it looks
don't know.
cool.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's-
Keep on with Marvel again. Oh boy, Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah.
This is hands down probably the best trailer I have seen of last week. Just from a
Right.
marketing perspective. I love the setup of it where you're getting to see Cable for the first time on screen. And it's like, well, word, okay, we're seeing Josh Brolin being Cable, he's being badass, all that kind of stuff, and then it just kind of stops, and you see, you know, the VFX hasn't been improved as yet, you know, it's still
Yeah.
in post production phase, and of course Deadpool, you know, fourth wall breaking style says, you know, like, what the hell is this, blah blah blah, and then we just finish up the scene and then he does this Lego scene with it. I was just like clapping. I was like, yes, I'm loving this. I'm loving this fourth wall meta style that, you know, they've been applying to their trailers here. And of course you get you get the montage, which looks awesome, by the way. I love how you're seeing all the characters just throwing down, doing badass stuff. And yeah, I just really, really love this trailer. And dude, let me just talk, well, just to mention, of course, to that excellent poster. Kids, if you don't know what Flashdance is, Oxyparents. That's all I have to say. That poster, brilliant. I just really loving the marketing marketing plan here for Deadpool 2. But I hope that it does pay off in the end. I hope it's not just a bunch of gimmicks and a bunch of, hey, remember this from the 80s? Remember this? Remember that? And then when you see it's like, yeah, but the first one was still better though. You know what I mean? But
right.
What were your thoughts on the poster and the new trailer?
Yeah, I love the trailer. Really, really funny. I like that they throw some shade at Mustache Gate in Justice League.
Yeah.
It's great. Oh, by the way, we should have mentioned, well, I should have mentioned this after, but some dudes did with some AI face stuff. Did the same mustache thing and did it on way cheaper. So, I mean, that is further embarrassment for that whole thing.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really unfortunate how that whole thing played out. Anyway, but yeah, funny trailer, great. They made fun of the whole grimdark. I'm a badass from this and I suffered. Yeah. And what was so sad about that is fucking the Venom trailer come out after and do that same bullshit that Deadpool just make fun of.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Venom trailer, boy. Oh boy, that Venom trailer. I just want to just mention this though. A deleted scene from Justice League though was leaked last week.
Right, I saw a little clip right and it was pointless.
I was like,
bullshit.
Yeah, but that really not anything. Ooh, a black Superman suit. Ooh.
Yeah,
okay,
but
wow.
yeah, we shall see it in the movie. No one cares.
Okay. Yeah. So while the Justice League was doing stuff and Superman was nowhere to be found, no, he just went to the Fortress of Solitude and saw a black Superman suit. So hey,
who cares?
Right?
Yes,
exactly.
he was so stupid about that, right? We saw him in a black Superman suit in the dream sequence in Man of Steel. So why is that a big deal?
Yeah.
Isn't that like it's something image-wise you don't understand?
No, I
see him in a black suit already in Man of Steel.
I think the reason why people reacted to it so much is that they wanted to see him it's Superman Returns now, literally. So it's why wasn't he in that suit? I don't know, because Zack Snyder, I don't know.
They didn't give a fuck.
So anyway, so moving along. So yeah, boy, that Venom trailer, boy. That was number one in trending. So I'll just start, right? So, this was a letdown for me. But then again, I went with my expectations low anyway. But come on, is Tom Hardy playing freaking Venom? The least they could have shown me was Venom himself. Maybe not Tom Hardy turning into Venom, but just show us a little 2 second, a little flash of Venom now, or just the roar that he makes. No, they get this meme worthy shot, and I use it too for my cover photo right now on Facebook of a Tom Hardy on a bed just screaming yeah. Like if you look down, if you scroll through all the comments, it's like I think it's at the 116 point. It's just people saying like when your Wi-Fi cuts off or when you didn't save that last level of your game. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just turned it into this meme trend basically. And I'm sorry, I think it deserves that because it is unintentionally funny. That's that one moment. Everything else about it is just like, okay, you see the ship. Supposedly when Tom Hardy was screaming, you see a little bit of the gel up his neck, but to me I didn't see enough of it to be like, okay, no, I didn't really see enough.
And you saw the symbiote in like a case or container of some sort, like alright, okay.
One shot of Tom Hardy on a bike and some car chase.
Right.
Like,
well, okay, so somebody on Facebook showed a cut with what he should look like, where they had a cut of the trailer, but the trailer is actually showing him in the Venom outfit. From a shot from the top and then him on the side, but I don't know if that was a fake. I had no idea.
Right. But yeah, other than that though, yeah, it was, and yes, I understand. It's a teaser. Don't show you everything. You don't need to. But come on, man, dog. I mean, it's Tom Hardy playing Venom. Show me a little bit more. Don't cheat us out there. I felt that they really did cheat us there. But your thoughts on it, if anything?
Yeah. It lazy, hated it.
That's
just felt flat,
lazy.
pointless.
It's lazy, and it's generic. It's Sony again doing what Sony does.
Yeah, Sony does. And again, the whole premise of it is silly. I mean, it's like, wait, why are you doing a Venom movie without Spider-Man referencing Spider-Man? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna do this? And it's just Sony doing the laziest shit. I hear they want to do this big Sinister Six paradigm, and all of them going to come together to take down Spider-Man or some bullshit like that. Like,
right. I have a dumb question, right? This
Yeah.
is in no way related to the Amazing Spider-Man, right? This is about
I
the
don't know. I
Civil
don't
War
think so.
Spider-Man, right?
I don't think so because what they going to hire another person for it? It's unclear. I don't think so. I don't think they're just doing their own thing, but they're kind of doing like what they do in the Dark Universe, where they started their own thing and then it'll cobble together in a real kind of weird way.
Right.
And then so it's a Sinister Six movie, but without Spider-Man to start them off with. So they're trying to do everything backward now. Yeah.
Yeah.
This gone. This
And
is
you know,
this
and
is-
just so you know, what's the excuse? The fans wanted to see a Venom movie.
That's the problem is that nobody give a shit about Venom without Spider-Man. All of this don't make any sense or works without the context of Spider-Man. The premise is a decent premise, but it only matters because it happened to Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Right?
It impacted
So no one
Spider-Man's
cares.
life. You know what I mean? That's what Spider-Man 3 tried to do. Tried to show us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
But whatever.
yeah.
The whole
But
thing,
the poster
the whole
looks
thing
dope
is a
though.
mess.
The poster looks dope. I hated how
Right.
we had to like, okay, after the scream, you had to give us like this whole 20-30 seconds of the logo showing up on screen
Yeah,
as like
right.
you're right, like this is lazy, Joe. They could have given us more, man. Not even a little piece at the end with the with the face, you know, with the mouth, with the eyes, nothing. Is just Venom. October. That's it. Ugh.
Right. It didn't work. Again, you're doing everything backwards. This is the Dark Universe all over again. I think this movie gonna fail. I don't root for anything to fail, but I mean, geez, boy, everything about this from its conception to marketing to its hype to how to build the hype had me sleeping the entire time. Like, and the only person I see who was hyping it, I know, is a person who I think is incredibly disingenuous. You know, is one of those edgelord types to say, well, because everybody think gonna feel like gonna hype it, so it might work, so I can say they're wrong. It's like that kind of jackass now. And
Right.
I'm not really impressed with this whole process at all. I just think it's gonna fail.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility of it happening, in my opinion, because just first and foremost, we don't need a Venom movie. We just don't need it.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, look, it could be good. Not sure, but I don't expect that.
Yeah. All right. And finally, well, a teaser that I guess it's because I don't watch the Super Bowl at all. I don't really care for American football. I'm sorry. Went to the States House, introduced it, still didn't care. But a quick teaser dropped for a Netflix release called The Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
Now, what makes it interesting is that people, well, this is what I heard, right? People was like, oh, well, when is this going to come out? It was like, yeah, right now, actually. It's out, like, right
nice.
now. So, as in February 4th. So, we both of us got to see it, so we just jump into movie reviews here one time. So before we get into the Cloverfield Paradox, I just want to talk briefly about Cloverfield itself, right? The franchise aside it all. So for me though, 2008 Cloverfield, I really enjoyed that. I'm actually one of the few that did not get to see it on big screen. I have a feeling I probably would have enjoyed it more if I saw it on big screen, but then again, with that shaky cam approach, I'm not too sure if I would have been able to sit through it with eating popcorn and drinking soft drink or whatnot. I probably would have been vomiting. Then again, with me as a wearing glasses and all, shaky cam don't really affect me. I just always focus on the center of the screen, not so much the left and the right shaking. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a really unique take on the monster genre. What Godzilla and King Kong were.
The kaiju.
The kaiju, right? The use of the green screen. The use of the shaky cam really added a realistic feel to it. I also love how short and sweet it is, because this movie was like hour and 20 minutes or so with credits. It just stuck to its point. It didn't overstay its welcome. It just did what it had to do and boom, that was it. It gave you enough like holy shit moments, like oh my god, like the scene with the scene with the Statue of Liberty, the head being ripped off and thrown. And I like that they kept things sort of secretive. You still don't know what the creature was, although like when if you look at like behind the scenes stuff or commentary on it, it's basically baby creature basically, and it's just running about and is scared because it's being attacked by humans and all that kind of stuff. So like how this creature would react in a situation like that. But I really enjoyed it though. It had moments that made me jump, and I just love how they try to make it as low budget as possible, even though you could tell they spent £1 and £1 on that movie, especially with the marketing.
Right.
So I thought that it was just like a one-off thing. We wasn't gonna get anything. Well, maybe a sequel, but I didn't think it needed. I didn't think it needed a sequel. But anyway, and then cut to 8 years later, where we got 10 Cloverfield Lane, which also the trailer for it dropped like about a month before the movie came out, and caught people completely off guard. And for me, I was like, well, okay, is this a continuation of this movie? So, yeah. So why do we have Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Goodman? Why is she in this bunker, whatever it is? Why is John Goodman being a creep? What is going on? What does this have to do with gigantic monsters and whatnot? And then I really started to understand the gimmick really, where, in a sense, when you think about it, Cloverfield is like J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves' sort of Twilight Zone, if you will. So it's like different stories, but it's within the same Cloverfield universe. So anything literally could happen. It could be this, like 10 Cloverfield Lane, for example, which was a solid thriller in my opinion. This could have happened before the events of Cloverfield or after, we don't know. But I still enjoyed it as a thriller, just as a contained thriller. I really enjoyed it. And the end, though, even though, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, they do go for sci-fi, and I thought that was like a great touch, actually. Because I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a straight-up thriller from start to end. And then in the last 10-15 minutes, it was like, oh, this is actually kind of sci-fi. So I was like, well, weird, okay. So it does tie back to the first film in a way, but not exactly. And now we have Cloverfield Paradox, which I believe was supposed to be released late last year as the God Particle. I remember this was one that was supposed to have an IMAX release down here in Trinidad late last year, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't see any trailers for it at all, so I don't know. But it's later on when I learned that it actually was supposed to be part of the Cloverfield universe or something like that. But the gimmick is with this one here is that this was supposed to answer some of the questions that both Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane had asked. I was like, all right, well, is this the paradox that the title suggests? I don't know. But before we get into that, though, Ricardo, your thoughts on the Cloverfield saga thus far?
Right. The first film I wasn't the biggest fan of, frankly, because I thought the shaky cam stuff was just a little too fucking ridiculous.
Kind of gimmicky, I can imagine.
A little gimmicky, but the problem is that, dude, like, a camera don't shake that goddamn much. Holy shit. Like, I get you're supposed to be panicking.
But valid point there, yeah.
I get you're supposed to be panicking and everything, but like they really overdo that shit. It was really distracting even for the paradigm. But a lot of people got into it. It was fine. It was cool sci-fi world building. It had one moment that was pretty badass where this girl basically explode because she had one of those things in her.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was a real brutal scene.
Them little teeny tiny, little thing. Yeah, I love those. Those added a really nice creepy touch to the movie. Yeah?
Right. The thing is, it did a lot of world building that this movie kind of dismisses because they mentioned that, well, the Cloverfield monster is more akin to a real kaiju, where it's more natural. But then this new movie kind of dismisses a lot of that. Well, at least that's the implication. For me, this was pretty decent overall. I thought it was great. Had fun with it. Again, the shaky cam was a little too much, and again, I just hated the main character, the guy who's holding the camera. Hated that dude. Such a douche. But it was good, decent sci-fi world building. And then, well, with the Cloverfield sequel, I remember having a lot of fun with this. Great script. It didn't seem to connect to that first movie at all, as far as I know, other than name.
Yeah.
Like, I could make a connection unless you're really gonna you're gonna fan theory yourself into that.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a stretch.
Because you see that, like at the very end, if you look at it, it looks more like an alien ship as the invasion.
Exactly.
Not so much this creature that came out from the, I was going to say lagoon, but actually came out from the ocean.
Right. And for me, it felt like a movie that could have been a little more to flesh out a little that I wanted to see some more of the alien stuff.
Right.
So it felt like half of a film and half and 3/4 of a film.
Yeah,
I remember
almost like they just needed a way. Almost like they just needed like a really great twist, like J.J. Abrams and the Hitchcockian twist. So here's let's bring in the sci-fi thing, and people will be like, what? And I was like that.
I remember. I think in our review of it, what I complained about was it should have been like the double movie now. So you see how movies like Gone Girl and Room was, where it felt like two different movies, but leading into each other. We should have gotten that with this.
Right.
It should have ended there. We should have gotten like a good 20-30 minutes left extra to flesh out more of that and just give us a kind of second working arc now. and they should have made the effort to write that. But whatever. I had a lot of fun with it. It was great. Everybody had good chemistry. John Goodman was great in it.
Oh yes, he was great.
I like the central premise of, and it had a kind of, if anything, a slight feminist subtext of, well, even if he's right for the wrong reasons, and he should still, don't take him on. Now that's what I kind of got from that.
Right.
In terms of the authority character now. He's right, but he's right for terrible reasons, and he's right for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I like a lot of that on how it worked in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a lot of fun with it and overall. And then, well, we're gonna talk about this new movie, and boy.
Boy. You just want to run through what the premise is about, please. I'll tell you why later, but continue.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna talk about something a little after, but whatever. Let's run through the premise. So basically, the world running out of energy. Like, it's a big energy crisis, some sort. So decide, all right, we're gonna make a big giant hadron collider type device up in space, big particle collider, particle device, not sure whatever you want to call it, smashing atoms, atom smasher, that shit. And it's too big to last on Earth, it's too big to build on Earth, but it's big enough to operate in space. So they build it. And the plan is to build it and apparently unlock some type of energy to use on Earth so they could replicate the results on Earth to solve the energy crisis. But then they decide to do it, and it was stable for a while, but then things go wrong. And basically, it's implied that they got sent to another parallel reality that was doing a similar experiment at the same time. So you basically get a Star Trek mirror universe teleportation shenanigans going down.
Yeah.
And then chicanery ensues, and the movie becomes, event horizon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts on the paradox of Cloverfield?
Boy, it's not the worst thing ever. But I mean, look how you could waste a fucking script. It was really half-assed. They didn't think this one out. It looked good. It's well shot. A little on the cheap end, but this really felt like, to me, it felt like a really like poorly thought out Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
That's what it felt
like. The fact that came out from Netflix making it all the more ironic.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Black Mirror, almost all Black Mirror episodes better. It feel like if Charlie Brooker just say he just half write it at first draft and say fuck it, put it up. That way it feel like.
Right.
It really felt like that was really lazy. A lot of it didn't make sense or connected it very well. It didn't have any logical things, and everything is just, well, quantum this, quantum that. But no, even if you're saying quantum stuff, it should have still a logic to it now. And it had no logic to it. Especially a couple things we're going to mention. Well, big spoilers. I don't really care about spoilers, right? Had a hand that was moving, and the hand was conscious somehow. How?
Yeah, how?
How? That makes sense.
It never explained how it just happened.
Guy not bleeding out. It's like, wait, where's blood going exactly? Why is it sealed off? Is it burnt off? How does it working?
As you mentioned that, there's one scene, right, where they find let me just say she's one of the former team members now, and she's like wrapped up in a bunch of like wires and pipes and stuff like that. And she bleeded, right?
That was the part I could accept. So I had no problem with that.
I was like, okay, so the next day where they all of a sudden she like all cleaned up and everything, so no wounds, no.
I didn't mind that.
No stitches, nothing. Just
I didn't mind that because it's future medicine. Whatever.
Future medicine.
Like, I didn't mind. That didn't have a big deal with that. My problem is that the stuff didn't logically make sense with certain things. Like, okay, so the worms going inside the fella's belly was like, why? And then how they had to do certain things and tell people other things. Like, wait, where that coming from? It feels more like Stephen King bullshit rather than, actual science fiction. I feel more fantasy than anything. That was my problem. Because it had this kind of Lovecraftian bent to everything now.
Yeah, you're right.
And that didn't really work. Like, look, I have no problem you're going to another dimension and bringing creatures across. Or you're cutting, like, somebody's hand gets sucked up in a quantum something, but then it'll just show up somewhere because it gets teleported, so you lose his hand and you will be bleeding out.
Mm-hmm.
But they decided to do it like, well, it's somehow still working, and then the hand conscious, and he can't control it. Like, wait, how? The causality didn't add up at all.
Yeah.
For what they wanted to do.
And because you're working with science fiction, you have to have a proper explanation as to why these things are happening, not just well, it's shock value.
Another big problem is that
no.
Okay, so I don't know if I just not pay attention in the beginning, but I just didn't get the sense that the main character lost her family in the beginning.
To me, I thought that
I
was
couldn't
something
follow
that
that.
happened with her doppelganger, or whatever you want to call it. I
Right.
thought that was just something that happened to her, so it's just like,
Because
well,
Wendy.
this is a
Okay, so
possibility that
again,
could
spoilers.
happen,
So
but right.
spoilers. The girl from the other dimension, she comes across because they switch places now. So she comes across and she's like, well, I know your version on the other side, and you're missing. I know you're missing children. I said, oh well, in this reality, your children's still alive. Blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, cool. I get all of that. Great. It's a great moral argument. You could talk about the other person's life, and you got to see your family, but it's not your family. Blah blah blah. The problem is that at no point they set her up emotionally or visually to make me think that she lost her family in this side. I don't know if I missed a piece of dialogue to say, oh, she two children, because that's not a piece where she was just watching the children in a window and they had it there. I like, yeah, but did they really lose the children? What happened there exactly?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. Okay. Well, for me, here's the thing with this, right? This is kind of hard to really review, by, because for one thing, I just went in completely blind. I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, me too.
What
Everybody
to expect.
Everybody did.
Now, okay, I wasn't expecting that they were really going to try to answer certain questions about what happened here with the last movies and whatnot. I just wanted to see how does this connect really with Cloverfield, right? So apart from calling the ship itself, I think the ship itself was called Cloverfield or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was telling myself, okay, well, this can't be the only reason why, right? So there has to be something going on here. And when the story itself started to develop, I was like, well, it's exactly what you said. This does feel like a Black Mirror episode, you know what I mean? This whole alternate reality thing. But here, I just felt that it was just trying way too hard to be what it was trying to be. So basically, you want to be like Event Horizon. You want to be this contained horror film in space.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just felt uninspired to me. It just felt like, okay, I've seen these things a million and one times already. I've seen Alien. I've seen Event Horizon. And what the movie does, it's try to do something a little bit different, a little bit something intriguing and most importantly, disturbing and scary. No, you just want to rip off the same stuff. So, hey, let's have a shot of a guy's hand moving about. That will freak people out. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
The part that did freak me out, though, was the part of the worms, but then, you're right, when you think about it, the logic behind it. And then, because of me trying to figure out the logic, too, it just became too much of a chore, to me, in my opinion. It's to a point where I just kind of zoned out. I just got bored. I was just like, all right, when does this thing get interesting? When does this thing get scary? And then on top of all that, now you want to kind of tie it back now to what was going on. Well, down on Earth, so you have this narrative with this guy. What's his name again? David.
Oyelowo.
Oyelowo, right. So you have this narrative with him. I tell myself, okay, so this is the kaiju attack going on. This is something, but it's going on.
No, that's not David Oyelowo. That is the husband or the husband.
Yeah.
On Earth, right?
Yeah. Okay, well that's somebody else.
No, that's not David Oyelowo.
Right, my bad. Right, I was confused. Right. So David plays the captain, right? So there's this subplot with him down on Earth and all this kind of thing going on. And
which was terrible.
I tell myself, okay, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen here. Is it the actual kaiju? How does this relate to what's going on up there in space? I don't know.
I couldn't piece together that kaiju was on the planet yet, because like they just show a shadow of a creature kind of. I was like, okay, they show up, but they didn't mention anything like that. It's like, well, what's going on? And it's like, okay, so is the Cloverfield from the other side? Is more monsters? It was unclear.
Or it could be the alien quote unquote thing from 10 Cloverfield Lane. We don't know, but the movie just does not stop and say. It just, once again, it's just beating us, telling us, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and the movie just keeps doing that. But then if it just casts all that aside, or you focus on the story, to me, I find it was just bland. It was dull. I didn't care about the characters. I wanted to care. I really do. I wanted to care about the captain. I wanted to care about douchebag Daniel Brühl, who was just, well, okay, he's not a douchebag, but in the film he was a douchebag.
Well, they did a good job with the whole. Well, the parallel version was doing some chicanery, and this normal version wasn't. Like, I like all of that.
And that part, though, with the alter realities, the doppelgangers, they could have played that off a lot more cleaner, much smoother. You know what I mean? Because, there were times where I was confused. I wasn't sure who was who, but maybe that was the point, but the payoff didn't really help things, because at the end, I still didn't even know, I still didn't even care who the characters were, if they were really that well, especially with the villain, quote unquote. It's like, well, okay, well, is that the real person? But I don't know. But at the end of the day, I just didn't care. I felt the film itself was just it's just really neat trying to figure out what it was. It really for the word go, it should have made me care about the characters. Like I was just watching them, I just felt like these bland archetypes. So you have the captain, you have the Asian who talks Chinese, and everybody knows what she's saying. Because and it's McGill Zhang Ziyi. I was like, well, okay, she's still acting, okay, no problem. You have the German, you have this character. I really wanted to learn more about let me see if I get her name right. Gugu Mbatha-Raw. Please,
right. She was in that episode of Black Mirror, season 2, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Sam Junipero.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to know more about her because, I mean, this film has some great actors. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have some great actors. But you give them this scenario, and I tell myself, okay, how are they going to play off this scenario? And then it's just like, well, okay, well, this happened, and that happened, and this may happen, and we're still trying to test out this energy source thing, and meanwhile, you have this stuff going on Earth, and I'm trying to understand what's going on Earth here. And you have this guy, and then he meet this little girl, and then they trying to survive, but you still don't know what's going on. And then it's just all these questions hovering over your head, like why, and then the logic too. I find that the movie was just devoid of logic, like not just the stuff on Earth, but the stuff that was on space. Like why are these things happening? What is with this altered dimension? What is the meaning of all this? Now, the argument I'll say is because it's Cloverfield, and I hate this about Cloverfield, by the way, is the idea is about what you don't know. That's what makes it so scary. But here's the problem. It ain't scary.
It's a classic problem with J.J. Abrams, the mystery box bullshit.
Yeah.
Which, look, I don't mind. It's just you had to have a payoff and you make it work. My big problem with this is that because it's such a confused and muddled script, they wanted to have it both ways. They wanted to connect it to the Cloverfield universe, but write their own lazy-ass script and then connect it in the laziest and dumbest ways.
Yeah,
and they didn't make no effort to try to connect it to the universe. So you either have your own story and just do your own normal sci-fi and you hype that, or you make an effort and connect it to the universe. And they wanted to have, again, you have a cake and eat it too now.
Yeah.
And that was a big problem. It was really lazy.
You're right. And you know what? I would argue, Dredd, that it almost feels like I couldn't help but think about this, right? It really does feel like it just was like some throwaway script, like somebody just have it there. I was like, nobody really doing this, but hey, let's just slap a Cloverfield and try to tie it in. It really does feel like it's two different films now.
Yeah, but I think that kind of pissed me off. It's like, wait, Ole couldn't make a better effort to try to square this with the Cloverfield universe. You know it have a big fan base out there. I'm sure it have people who have more than enough effort and wherewithal to build a world and make sense of it. And I was like, yeah, if you're working on this God particle thing, I thought that was a big hype now. So what happened with that? Yeah. So that was a big disappointment because to hear that this was God particle and then we get this after all of that time, I was like, yeah, they kind of fucked this up. Sorry.
Yeah, boy. So like at the end, you're not even sure if this was supposed to be the God particle. You're not sure if this was supposed to be a theatrical release because this right here, not even Netflix. This should have just been like direct to DVD, Dredd. And it's just a shame that it have the Cloverfield word in it. And then, oh gosh, I don't even want to spoil the ending, but the ending to me,
I gonna spoil the ending.
Spoil it. That was bullshit.
Basically, the last thing is like, well, they get back home, and the last shot is when the husband is like, well, don't bring she back home because them monsters here. And basically, it's implied as the same monster from Cloverfield. And then, last shot is when they go into the clouds, the monster from Cloverfield pop his head up above the clouds, which don't make any fucking sense because the monster wasn't that big in the first place.
Exactly.
Or it's implied as another monster. Whatever.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe if I was drunk, I'd have been laughing at that scene, because it just looks so unintentionally funny, yeah? But because I was so annoyed and bored by it, I was just like, really? That's all they got to end this film? Nah, fuck all that shit. Nah. So, just to round things up, though, this to me, like, oh gosh, marketing-wise, Cloverfield could do no wrong, right? They could just drop trailers out of the blue and tell people, yeah, coming out now and all that kind of stuff. They have that in the bag, right? They do that well. But all that hype up, all that this, all that shit, and this is what you give us.
It's not bad in that sense.
You give us this kind of bargain basement film with unappealing characters, or at least characters that I wish I cared about, but I just didn't care about none of them. Sorry, I just didn't. You gave me a story that just so blah, in my opinion. Like, oh well, we worked on this thing, and now we're in an alternate reality, and now our evil versions are here and stuff, and then
but
of course
they could have even like they could have make sense. Like they could have even say, all right, you don't want to make it Cloverfield, they could have say, all right, I thought he was going to get into this real interesting deep story about parallel realities where Daniel Boo character is doing some chicanery on the other side, and is to suss out that, and they just make it real lazy script.
Yeah, it was just flat. It was empty. They could have delved in. They could have put some more effort into the story. I mean, come on, they did it before. They did it with 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like, come on, they could do that shit. And then tie it, at least connected to the universe much better, much smarter. But then
it's a really big disappointment.
But because I'm not a huge fan, because I didn't see the trailer, I didn't know anything about it prior to watching this film. Yeah, but you want to tell people that this is going to answer certain questions, but it doesn't at all. Like, for one thing, why is the kaiju so incredibly big now? Now, I saw a review of it. I'll just talk about it quickly, where some person will say, well, this is like the alternate universe to Cloverfield. So the events that was happening in the first film is like a different version of it. So it's more heightened or whatever it is. But it still don't make no sense. You still haven't given me a reason to care.
Okay, so the one good takeaway from me from this movie is that I thought the three women were great on camera. And there's a book, one of my favorite sci-fi books in the last couple of years, a book called Seven Eves. To me, they are if they were to make a movie or TV series for Seven Eves, the three women are the perfect cast for three characters in the book. Right? This is Zhang Zi as Ivy. Gugu Mbatha-Raw as Moira, and Elizabeth Debicki as Tekla, because to me they fit those three character roles. So if you're making a movie, cast the three of them because they're perfect. That's it. That's more the takeaway from this movie. The rest is crap. It's a mess.
The rest is crap.
Script didn't work. I didn't care about the scare factor.
There was no scare factor. I'm sorry, except for that.
Waste of time.
Except for the
dumb
room
action
thing. Yeah. Everything else.
Dumb action, dumb narrative building. I didn't care about anything. It had a couple little character moments, but most of it was sucky and bad.
Yeah.
I gonna give this not the lowest rating, but I'll give this, well, in all theater ratings, I'll give this probably a low CC8, because this is a colossal.
You've been fair, Dread. You've been real fair. All right. Yeah. But that's your score. Okay.
Low CC8, maybe a high Globe, maybe. What? Low CC8.
Alright, for me, this get a 2 out of 5. Strong 2 out of 5. I want my money back. I know I didn't spend money on the show, but I still want my money back. This was a waste of time for me. This felt like the bastard child of the Cloverfield series as far. This should not even have the word Cloverfield in it, in my opinion. This was just some kind of bargain basement sci-fi story that should have just been a better episode of Black Mirror, you know what I mean? Yeah. It just...
even if it was a Black Mirror episode, it would still be disappointing.
Yeah, it would still be disappointing. You could have done so much more with this premise, Chad. This is so basic, and you know, when you try to be complex, it just gets more confusing and more annoying with with the more effort that you try to figure out what's going on and why. That's a big thing. Not so much what is going on, but why, and why we should care. Yeah, boy, this was a letdown for me, boy. So 2 out of 5. This is probably this is probably gonna make more Wool stuff for the year too. So thank you, Netflix, for giving me my first Wool stuff movie of 2018. Thank you very much. Thank you.